Welcome back to this Teach Out on Food Sustainability. I'm here today with Alex Bryan, who's the Sustainable Food Program Manager here at the University of Michigan, and we're going to be talking a little bit about how sustainable food fits within the broader spectrum of the University of Michigan's sustainability goals. So thanks for joining us today.
Of course, happy to be here.
Perfect. So let's just jump right in there. Can you tell me a little bit more about kind of where food fits in with this larger ecosystem of U of M as we're starting to think about sustainability?
Yeah, so I'll start here where we are in Greenhouse 5 at the campus farm at Mathai Botanical Gardens. We've got food all around us here, so we're looking at microgreens of cilantro, peppers, eggplant. Majority of this food will end up back in our dining program with Michigan Dining. Our goal is to purchase about $100,000 a year annually from our campus farm right into our dining hall so that students are growing food, preparing that food, eating that food on campus, which ties into the broader goal of the University of Michigan, which is 20% local sustainable by 2025. Now that local sustainable definition is something that we've worked with some national partners, ASHE, the Association for Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, and some others to sort of benchmark what that looks like. And so really what we're targeting is food that's coming from within 250 miles of campus or that is third-party certified sustainable. So that could be organic, it could be pasture raised, it could be some of these other certifying bodies out there. And right now we're at about 17, almost 18%, and we're kind of rapidly approaching that goal. And I'm excited, so when we hit that goal, we'll move the goalpost again and we'll continue to move along that train of what sustainability goal that we have next, set out there.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I've heard a little bit about your Sustainable Mondays program. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about kind of how that came to be and what that program entails?
Yeah, so Sustainable Mondays started originally as Meatless Mondays. You're familiar with that concept, Meatless Mondays, try not to eat meat on Mondays. But we realized that framing our sustainability efforts in a way that takes away choice is not going to be well received, one, by students, and two, is just not maybe a good framing that we want to get long-term buy-in, right? So we reframed and call it Sustainable Mondays, and we focus and try to highlight all of the different sustainable efforts that we have within Michigan Dining on that one day. Now we're doing many of these things throughout the week, but we really push it hard on the marketing front, and then we've shifted some of our food during those days to highlight things that are lower on the from a climate standpoint, right? So lower greenhouse gas emissions from that food. Typically that means less meat, but that doesn't mean taking all the meat choice away either.
So you tell me a little bit more about kind of the impact that program has had so far?
So that program, been running it for about the last year, and some students from the Sustainable Living Experience, which is a living experience here on campus where they're living and learning in sustainability. They approached and said, hey, we're really curious about Sustainable Mondays. We want to look at the data. Can we figure out, is it actually having an impact? And so we set them down with a whole bunch of different data on couple Mondays and a couple Wednesdays, and they went through, put it all into a calculator and found out we're looking at about 60% or more greenhouse gas emissions reduction on Mondays alone, which is just astronomical, right? Like, we think about 60% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, just there's nothing else we're doing that has that big of an impact in such a large manner.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. And I'm excited because students drive our Sustainable Monday program, and they're also the ones that are playing around with this data and learning from that, right? They're putting together stuff that we hope in the next year we'll be able to publish a paper on some of this work, and that's primarily driven through that student education component. Sure. Yeah.
So when we think about University of Michigan, which is a really large research institution, can you tell us a little bit more about how you think about food waste, and especially looking at the scales of the dining halls here and kind of what that looks like?
Yeah, so similarly we have university-wide goals around waste diversion. So we have a target goal, I think 40% waste diversion from the landfill. So majority of that waste is food waste. So we have implemented composting across all of our dining halls. So all 9 of our dining halls, pre and post-consumer composting, down to switching out the tea company we use, the tea bags that don't have little plastic bits or a metal staple in them anymore. So everything in our dining halls can be composted. All of our to-go packaging is all compostable. So we're switching over all of our materials, and then it comes the hard part, which is that culture shift, right? So how do we educate our customers, our students, that everything is in fact compostable, that we do need to put those in the right bins, that contamination is sort of the enemy of what we're trying to do there. And so that's sort of this next phase that we're entering into. And hopefully this next fall we'll be having composting in all of our residence halls as well at the hall level, so that we can hit students when they're here their first year. Part of their day-to-day habit is seeing the compost next to the landfill and recycling, and so that they can reduce that overall waste impact.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So kind of thinking about, whether you're a student or a staff member, maybe faculty member here at the University of Michigan, or whether you're a learner kind of joining this teach out from abroad, what is kind of one action or one area of actions that you'd recommend that somebody take?
Yeah, so I think it comes down to we want to retain choice. Choice is really important, but helping folks make a more informed choice. So asking for things that are maybe like, we might have a burger, but ask for a blended burger, right? So cut it with mushrooms, 40%. That's 40% less beef that we're eating in that situation. So I think our customers drive our choice, and we help inform our customers along the way. So just asking for more climate-friendly options, right? Like eating on that scale, choosing items that are more plant-based than meat-based is going to be just sort of your blanket statement, the way to make that impact go around.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So it sounds like kind of being able to share your opinion, share your voice, and have it heard.
Yeah.
So thinking about the shirt that you're wearing, I think it fits in really well. Can you tell us about what that is?
Yeah,
what
so
that message is?
the students of UM Sustainable Food Program and a lot of our other food students love the food puns. So I've got the Kale to the Victors t-shirt on today. They also have a Leaders in Beets, and don't forget to grow blue.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for joining us in this conversation, and thank you for joining us in this segment. We look forward to continuing the discussion about sustainable food and other parts of this teach-out.